Stage 2 lock flow complete.
So with that, we have completely loaded propellants on both the first and second stages. That's fuel and liquid oxygen. It's about 1 million pounds of propellant across both vehicles. And today's launch marks SpaceX's 93rd from Space Launch Complex 40. Looks like a beautiful day from the ground.
Gas close out.
You can see the soot on the side of this first stage, the 9th flight for this particular booster, and we will be attempting to recover it in the Atlantic Ocean on our drone ship named A Shortfall of Gravitas.
Falcon 9 is a startup.
SpaceX, Falcon 9, Starlink, go for launch. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 15. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off the Falcon 9. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Shoot down right. And what the chamber pressure is nominal. Power and telemetry nominal. Falcon is supersonic.
You just saw there Falcon 9 transitioning to faster than the speed of sound.
Max Q.
And with that, we are through the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle is going to feel during the ascent phase.
And back chill.
Now we're coming up on 3 events. First of those will be main engine cutoff, followed by stage separation, and then second engine start number 1. Keep an eye out for those happening back to back. We just heard that call out for beginning chill of the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage.
Eco. Stage separation confirmed. And back ignition. Fairing separation confirmed.
So 4 events back to back. MECO, stage separation, and then Merlin vacuum engine start, followed by fairing separation. These fairings are marking their 6th flight and 5th flight, respectively, and we'll be attempting to recover them on our recovery vessels for use on a future mission. Today's mission marks the 56th overall mission to use reflown fairings. So far, burn performance looking normal right down the middle on both the vehicles. Left-hand side of your screen, you can see our first stage.
Acquisition signal, Bermuda.
It's transitioning, getting the engines and the heat shield pointed down for re-entry. The right-hand side of your screen is our second stage, a view of the Merlin vacuum engine with a beautiful view of planet Earth in the background. This mission marks our 175th overall launch. The booster on the left-hand side of your screen has previously supported 8 missions, 2 crewed missions, the Axiom 1 and Inspiration 4 missions, Nilesat 301, 2 GPS-3 space vehicle missions, both Space Vehicles 4 and 5, as well as 3 previous Starlink missions.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
Now, the view we have right now is of the Merlin vacuum on the second stage, which is carrying our Starlink satellites to orbit. As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite of internet constellation that is designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed and low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations. Starlink is currently live in 38 countries and 45 markets around the world. Here's another view of the first stage. You're seeing some periodic attitude control bursts as we're reorienting the vehicle to get the engines pointed down and the heat shield pointed down. You can also see the grid fins deployed in preparation for guiding the vehicle once we get into the thicker parts of the atmosphere. Next major event for the first stage is our entry burn, which is coming up in about 20 seconds.
Stage 1 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
So successful startup of 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. This is slowing down the vehicle as we start getting into the atmosphere.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 transonic. Terminal guidance.
So with that call out, the first stage is transitioning to speeds lower than the speed of sound. Coming up, next activity for the first stage is the landing burn. And here's a good shot of the first stage. You can actually see those grid fins actively steering the vehicle.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Startup of a single Merlin engine on the first stage in preparation for landing.
Seco. Landing leg deploy.
And beautiful shot of first stage landing. That marks the 130th landing of a Falcon 9 first stage. Our 57th overall Starlink mission and our 37th launch of the year. And in case you missed it, there was a call out there as well for second engine cutoff on the second stage. And just confirming that we are in the intended orbit. And we did get a call out there for good orbit. So with that, the second stage is carrying our 53 Starlink satellites to their intended destination. And with that, we are going to wrap up our launch coverage for today. Thanks a bunch for tuning in, and be sure to check out our social media platforms for confirmation of Starlink deploy. We'll see you again real soon.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
The chamber pressure looks good.
Toggling up. Roger roll, Atlantis.
Water towers fly!
Ego down to nominal.
Flight sound SC off.
SC off.
Yikes. You bet. Concur. We don't need any more of these.
Yikes, you bet, concur. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to another episode of NASA Spaceflight Live. It's Sunday. We're doing our thing. We're out here. I see the 5x5s in chat. Thank you, everybody, for confirming that you can hear me loud and clear. But yeah, it's a Starbase Q&A episode of NASA Spaceflight Live. And it's not just me, Jack Beyer, but it's also my friends. Alex, what's up, Alex? You're here today, huh?
Yep, I'm here. I'm all ready and excited to be here another week of NSF Live. This time with views from Starbase. I really like it. It's like a Raptor Site Plus, right?
Right. Yeah. Plus, no, this will be a good one, and it'll be good to sort of review what happened last week because oh my God, so much happened last week. And then also kind of look ahead to what is going to happen in the next week or so. I have thoughts. I have some thoughts. And also joining us for today's episode is Mr. Chris Gebhardt. Chris, what's up?
Hey, it's going well. Happy to be here to talk about all the things that happened this week. Because as you said, Jack, my goodness, there were a lot.
Yeah, often things simultaneously happening, which is just like I need to put my head on some sort of swivel, and I need like 6 more screens.
Yes,
but,
exactly.
But yeah, you can see there's ship 24. We were looking at booster 7 earlier. They're both at the launch site. They both seem to be being prepared for more testing. So we will get into that here in a little bit. But
Can I correct you on that?
Go ahead. What?
You said Booster 7 is out of the pad. It's actually in the Mega Bay.
Oh my God,
now.
you're right. We were just looking at the empty mount. I'm brain dead. Drinking more coffee. That's right. Booster 7 is in the Mega Bay getting its Center 13 engines. So we were just looking at it. What's wrong with me? But yeah, if you guys have any questions at NASA Spaceflight, and we'll see the questions pop up in our chat. You know the drill, how it normally goes. That is what we will be doing here for our Q&A. But I don't know. Do we want to just start going through the link stock, sort of step by step?
Sure.
Yeah, it works for me.
Let me find it because I lost it. Here it is.
Well,
there we go.
Yeah, well, I mean, so the big thing last week that was kind of new and different, other than the booster finally static firing, was sort of the dual flows of both ship and booster at the same time. We had testing double header is kind of what we called it, right?
Really was, yeah.
We had. Oh,
go ahead, Alex. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, me first. We had on Monday. Actually, that both Monday and Tuesday we had double header with both ship and booster. And on Monday we had spin prime tests on both the ship and the booster. We saw 2 spin prime tests on the booster and 2 spin prime tests on the ship. Both on the booster were a spin prime test of just 1 engine, and the 2 on the ship appeared to be at least 6 engines. Then on Tuesday, we moved over to 2 static fires. That's when we also had a double header, but this time, again, as I said, with the static fires. First was the single engine Raptor static fire on Booster 7, and that was on the orbital launch mount. We're seeing here footage of the spin prime test, right? There we go. That's the ship spin prime test that happened on Monday. There were 2 of them. And something that we noticed, it was also present on previous ship spin prime test, but also you can see near the T0 time, you could see like a spray, like a vent going upward on the side of the vehicle. And that was sort of what actually told us later on Tuesday when the static fire was going to happen.
Yeah, it's almost like that vent, that like, it was like a wispy, like upwards traveling vent, whereas everything there, you can see it on the left side just by the flap. It's like it's going upwards where everything else is going downwards. And it reminded me in a lot of ways how with the Starship low altitude flight tests, how the engine chill vents would pulse like 15 or 12 seconds right before ignition. This is kind of a similar timing, different optics, and maybe even a different source, who knows. But yeah, it's nice to have that indicator right before firing once again to look for, because it's like, oh, water deluge is on, the vapor is flowing upwards, all right, let's be quiet and wait for this thing to fire. I wonder if that will remain going forward and be like a new standard thing we can sort of count on, or if this is just a sort of a transient type effect.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, like is what we're seeing more of the, yep, this is the design we're going to go with, or is it, yep, still developing, so don't know.
Yeah, like when we see Ship 25 out at the pad and undergoing similar testing, will Ship 25 exhibit the same behavior?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because each one of these ships is like artisanally handcrafted, like one-off kind of. They're working towards mass production, but each ship is has its own quirks, and same with the boosters, right?
Oh, 100% still at this point. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see that sort of uniformity for quite some time at this point.
Alex, did I interrupt you? Did you have more to go? Please continue if I had so savagely ruined your flow there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I can just continue with the flow. And so that was on Monday. We saw 2 spin prime tests of both the booster and the ship. It was first the ship, And we're actually knowing already by the time the ship spin prime testing happened that, Booster 7 was getting prepared because we saw all of this action happening on the tank farm, the orbital tank farm, coming up to life while Ship 24 was doing its thing, right? And then we saw later that they also spin prime test just with one engine. And another thing that we saw on this test